You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, welcome to the Poe Show, broadcasting live from T Radio V in Hollywood. This is where we elevate the creative cult. This is where creatives can be seen, right? So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for always watching us. I'm Poe. So on Wednesday, September 28th at 9:30 p.m., La Magique Fantastique Red Carpet Event Show at the Cap Theater, 13752 Ventura Boulevard. That's in Sherman Oaks, California. Red carpet is at 8 p.m., and I'll see you there. So if you want to take pictures with Susie Malone and I on the red carpet, then you can do that at 8 p.m. This Parisian-themed magical cabaret show starring Susie Malone, producer and world's premier burlesque magician, and singer-host Ariel Hartman, is an action-packed 90-minute performance with amazing magic and illusions, lavish costumes, and gorgeous girls. Believe me. Taking you on a journey through time. Pre-sale tickets are $15, $20 at the door. Also, I was just with Susie Malone at the famous Whiskey A Go-Go on Saturday to see Harmful If Swallowed. If you get a chance, definitely check these guys out. They're awesome. Their music's awesome. They're awesome. Their producer, Ryan Green, is a little sketchy. Just kidding. Hi, Ryan. But definitely, if you get a chance, I think they're playing again maybe this Friday. My phone's ringing. I'm so sorry. Maybe this Friday. But if you just Google probably Harmful If Swallowed, you can find them. Or you can go on wetpuzzlepiece.com, and there's a show with them, actually. They've been a guest on my show before. Okay, so check those guys out. And Susie Malone at La Magique Fantastique. Saturday, October 1st, 6 to 8 p.m., the opening of Harry Dodge, The Inner Reality of Ultra-Intelligent Life at the Armory Center for the Arts, 145 North Raymond Avenue, Pasadena, California. The Armory is proud to present the first solo exhibition in Los Angeles of this acclaimed interdisciplinary artists. For the past several decades, Dodge has been a pioneer in a variety of spheres, including video art, sculpture, drawing, performance, screenwriting, feature film production, and DIY queer community making. Not my words. The Inner Reality of Ultra-Intelligent Life features the premiere of 2 new video works, Mysterious Fires and Big Bang, Song of the Cosmic Hobo. Paired with an array of early work, including sculptures and drawings, which showcase the evolution of Dodge's interests and trajectories over the past decade. The exhibition is on view in the mezzanine galleries from October 2nd through January 8th. The reception is free and open to the public. For more info, visit armoryarts.org. Okay, so today we're scaring your pants off. So I hope your undies are clean. I have in the studio with me today a visual effects superhero with 13 years in film and gaming, with an emphasis on animation, motion capture, and visual storytelling. He's known for his work on Avatar, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Iron Man 2, but is also the writer, director, editor, visual effects, and colorist for the award-winning, extremely frightening short, The Smiling Man. Please welcome the brilliant AJ Briones.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. I'm so excited you're here because I love that short. Oh my gosh. And it scares me to death. It's not, it's weirdly creepy because it's not over the top, like obviously creepy, which makes it ultra creepy.
Right.
So let's start with that. Can we first show the cover? Let's go to the cover. That's creepy in itself.
Yeah, so that poster's actually got an interesting story because I'm really good friends with a lot of amazing like comic book artists and like just visualization artists and concept artists. But I did my first short film and I feel like I used up all of my favors, and I really didn't want to reach out and ask for more favors and get more people to do artwork for me. But we got some really cool stills from a really good friend of mine who's one of our partners, Ben Shoop. And, I love 80s horror movies. One of the big things for me growing up, one of like these big formative memories for me was just going into the local video store, the mom and pop video stores, going into the horror section and just going through and looking at all these crazy horror covers. And so when it came to the fact that, I got to come up with this cover myself, I took some of Ben's stills and then I went on the internet and I found this archive where this guy had basically scanned and collected all of these 80s horror VHS covers. And instead of taking the artwork, what I did was I actually took all of the imperfections, like all the stains that like the cup stains, the discolorations,
cool.
And basically I used that and I made the poster for it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so awesome.
Yes.
That is super awesome. Talk about creative. Okay, so I think now we're going to start off with the little trailer, so you
cool.
can
Cool.
get a little taste for the Smiling Man. So check it out. And I just want more. Because I've seen the whole thing, and I want more. So it's just like that. It's so suspenseful.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to go to this just because it was on my mind when that was playing. The score
Yes.
that's actually, there's many big components to this very short film, but that's one of them.
Yeah, that's almost half the film, right? Like between the sound design and the score. What you hear is almost half the experience.
I wouldn't say half because you have the makeup and you have Dave
Well, yes.
and you have the whole premise of the story, and
Yes.
there's many things. That's why
Yes.
I can't say that, but the score is a huge part of it. So talk a little bit about who created that score, and it was by one person.
Yes. So I one of the things that was really awesome about my first film was that I got to meet some really cool people that ended up being people that I collaborated with.
And that was Carolina Parakeet.
Yes, that
and
was
we'll
Carol.
get to that in a minute.
That is correct. And so I was at the Holly Shorts Film Festival, which is here in Hollywood. It's over at the at the Chinese, and I was hanging out with some of the filmmakers, and I met this guy Vivian Villani, who is an awesome Italian composer from France, actually. And we hit it off, and we were talking about music, and after I made the film, like he agreed to score it, and we went back and forth on what that it would sound like. And the thing that's for me is really cool about going to like genre festivals is you get to watch films in a block, so like in a 2-hour block you get to watch like all these horror shorts
of that
for
particular
example.
genre.
Exactly. And so the thing for me that's a real education coming out of it is when you're kind of faced with like all these horror shorts back to back to back, you're either presented with really cool new ideas, or sometimes what happens is you're fatigued because you hear and see the same thing kind of over and over again. And so what I wanted coming out of that was I wanted something like super unique, and Vivian actually came up with something like super haunting, and it was really nice. And the first thing that we worked on was the credits song. just to see if it was something that was working, and I wanted a waltz specifically, you know, because in the end, like to me, you know, it's a story about boy meets girl, and in the end, you know, they dance, and I wanted something kind of creepy sounding and almost like dissonant, and I thought that might be great, and he did a fantastic job, and we got super lucky because he was doing this job out in France, and he had 3 hours with an 18-piece orchestra left over, and so basically we got an 18-piece orchestra to play the score, which is fantastic.
There's so much simplicity in it.
Yeah.
And silence in it.
Yes.
Those are like, I love the night sky, not the stars, the stuff around them. So
right.
the silence in between is brilliant and usually makes the whole thing.
Yeah, to me, I think, and it's part of the confluence of all of these kind of disciplines coming together in order to make like a narrative experience, right? And you know, musically as it is, you know, in the edit and in like pacing and tone, it's and even in art, it's as much about the negative space
Exactly.
as it is about, you know, what's
you know
there
what?
on
And
the
I
page.
just now thought of that, but that the music is it fits in perfectly because of that. Because well, in the reviews of the short, there's a lot of talk about this. It seems so simple. This short seems so everything about it seems simple. It's not simple getting to it seeming simple and brilliant. That's not easy. I'm not saying that it was simply done, but so that's where the music fits in too. It's just all.
Yeah, it's in the timing and the spacing of it, right?
Exactly.
It's and I don't know, coming from an animation background too, for me, like everything in animation is all about timing and spacing, and you know, everything in horror, whether or not something works,
Oh, for sure. In horror.
is all about timing and spacing, because it's all about really trying to control the tension and the audience's anxiety, and it's a really difficult thing.
You know,
to do.
let's get into some of those. You know what? Maybe first we should talk just a little bit about what you do as far as the pre-visualization, and can you just briefly explain what that is?
Right. So for my
Kind
day
of
job,
kind of like storyboarding.
Right. It's kind of like storyboarding, but it's a little different. Right? So my day job, I'm a previs supervisor for a company called Halon Entertainment. And what I basically do as a supervisor is I get paired with a director for, you know, a major feature film, and I have a team of artists. And what we do is we basically try to take either an action sequence or a visual effects heavy sequence or complicated shots, and we try to build with the director a framework of how that would look, and we kind of rapid prototype it in the way that a storyboard would be it. But the thing that's missing in a storyboard is realism, right? Because in a drawing, what you're missing is what lens is that shot on. It's not in any realistic lens. You're missing the fact that, you know, if it's in a set, for example, I could storyboard a shot of you here, but then you don't really know what that looks like on camera unless you're in an actual lens and you're in the actual space. So what we do is
It's like the sketch.
Right. So we'll take environments that, for example, the art directors are, you know, just concepting out, and we'll build them rapidly, and then we'll take the actors and we'll build them digitally, and then we will shoot the film all in CG, and then rapidly show it with the director and get their input, and it's a rapid prototype. So by the time that the director goes on set to kind of film something, he knows intimately.
He knows that there's a plan.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
You know, and the guys that set up the lighting know where to set up the lighting so that they're not in the shot. It's all that stuff. And at the same time, you know, a lot of times too, you get in a script, you know, there's a huge spaceship battle, right? They don't go into the intricacies of how each of those beats kind of, you know, happen. And
So there's the in between stuff.
yeah, exactly. And so it's really just, you know, trying to choreograph what all that action kind of looks like. And
Okay, let's start with those 5 photos of Smiling Man, and then maybe you can kind of give us an idea of what went on here.
Sure.
Okay, so this is.
Oh wow! Look at you! You did your research. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so this is the pre-visualization and that's the final, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it always, you know, I'm a very visual person, and
Right.
I'm sure everybody watching is
Right.
also visual, or you're going to just listen to it on audio. But so this, yeah. I mean, that's okay. Go ahead.
Well, so here's basically the challenges that we had in making The Smiling Man were, one, we had very little time, right? We've got like an actress in Abby Challey
Who's
who's
6 years old.
Yeah. We shot it on her 6th birthday. And with an actor that young, you only have her on set for 6 hours, legally. So you can't do any more than that. Now, Dave's makeup, which was done by Melanie Leandro, is amazing.
Yes.
Takes 8 hours to apply.
Yeah.
So you do the math that by the time Dave's makeup is done,
And
Abby's out of
he
set
said,
for 2 hours.
He was on here. I think he said it took him it took hours to even get it off.
That is correct. Yeah, we were there for like a long
Not
time.
that has anything to do with the
Right.
filming process,
Yeah.
but
So basically,
that's a long day.
Yeah, and you're looking at the complexities of the fact that you have your lead actress
Wow.
for a very little amount of time. You have makeup that takes many
Plus
hours
she's
to
6.
apply. That is correct.
I mean, not just the 6 hours, but
Well,
what will you get out of the 6 hours?
that's correct. I mean, it was one of those things where she was fantastic and is super professional, but with kids, like, they've got an attention span, and after like 3 or 4 hours, it was really fatiguing for her, and so the last couple hours of the day were a lot tougher than the first 2. And so what I basically did was, as soon as we locked down the house, we built the house in 3D.
Yeah.
And then I spent a few days and actually pre-shot the film so that everyone kind of knew what they were doing.
We're going to have to go on a break in just a second, but having to do with a house, in this, I just want to say this, in this production, you had very specific ideas of the look and feel of what you wanted in this short. Tone, composition, camera movement, wanted every frame to be perfectly composed. And also, I love this, a suburban home that felt and looked very normal.
Yeah.
A lot of times they want the creepy look in these types of films, but you wanted the opposite. You wanted it to look like someplace safe.
Yeah, there were a few things that I kind of wanted to try and subvert, because I mean, for me, this was really just an exercise, right? But this is the girl's house. It's not supposed to be
exactly
imposing and
right.
scary. And
Exactly.
the real fact of this was that the Smiling Man was invading into this safe space of hers.
You know what I think really makes this work is the contradictions. I think that's what makes this film so brilliant, is the contradictions of it, the sweetness of it,
Right.
and the other, which you're kind of, is this creepy or is this okay?
Right.
Your question. Okay, we're going to have to take a break, so we stay on schedule. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Hey, welcome back. Okay, so let's go on to the next photo, which I don't. Which one was that? The next photo of the 5? I numbered them right. Number 2. Okay. This is super funny. Oh my God, this is funny.
As my producer, Teft
Okay, so you do like kind of graphic stuff, but you also do just photos, photo kind of stuff.
Anything
whatever
to kind
works.
of tell. Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
This is so funny.
Yeah, we're just trying to set stuff up. I mean, it's one of those things, right? What I could spend like 2 or 3 hours to try to get something out of the computer. But,
Exactly.
You know, I could just be like, dude, have a seat. That's her eye line. This is, I think, what the shot's going to look like. You know what I mean? And I could basically just show that to our DP,
like,
David
okay,
Holochek, and he knows exactly what we're going for.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the second. So, yeah, just so you call it like blocking the action, like so kind of getting parameters of not necessarily at that point, not necessarily where she's looking or anything like that, or do you?
Oh, we kind of do. That's kind of outlined differently in a way that like so. This kind of comes with like a huge kind of Excel sheet that I create. That's basically the shot list, and then and so I just have visuals that kind of refer to each shot. And there are times when I'll just have just the shot list because we're running out of time or whatever, and I just like know that, oh my God, I need this shot. And I'll just leave a description of what that is.
It's like my cut sheet.
Yeah,
Something
absolutely.
you kind of go by, but not really.
Absolutely.
Okay, next shot.
Yeah, same thing, you know.
This is such a great shot. I love that with the cartoons. That's how it starts, right?
Yeah, that is how it starts.
Okay. So
that is how it starts. And it's funny because a lot of people always wonder like what the cartoon is from, and some people think it's like a Disney cartoon, but it is a cartoon that it's in the public domain. It's by a guy named Van Buren.
But that's another thing, the simplicity of the cartoon.
Right. Well, it was
adds to the film.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the perfect choice.
It was one of those things that, you know, there's a feeling that I was trying to kind of get across, in that one is there's like a super creepiness to like cartoons from the 30s, you know, that just like are super unsettling. And then I wanted to kind of get across to this like feeling, because I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid where like there's something crazy happening, right, or something horrific that I'm looking at, but I can't move, I can't look away, and everything is kind of in this like weird slow motion, and that's, you know,
you were born to be a filmmaker.
And it's kind of what I was trying to get across with the girl. And then and actually the funny thing is, when I first wrote the story, so Teft kind of came up with the idea of, you know, because we were throwing out ideas of, you know, what should I shoot next, and he was like, oh, what about a clown that has like blood for makeup? And I was like, that's kind of interesting, you know. So I kind of wrote the treatment, and my first version of the script, it was a little boy, and I thought it was kind of interesting, but I like working in allegory, you know. I like dropping like little interesting images there, and they're not really for audiences to pick up at all, because I don't think anyone would pick up any messages from this film. But, you know, at the same time, like I was talking with my girlfriend about just random stuff, and one night we were talking, it just kind of dawned on me that, you know, I walk in a world that's completely different from her, you know, where I'll meet someone, and if I think they're really nice, I'll just walk away and go, oh, that's a nice guy, whereas a pretty girl has to always have her guard up and always be wondering what else is going on. And so I kind of wanted to tell that in allegory, you know. So in imagery wise, you know, for me, the smiling man is, you know, the shiny balloons or the shiny things guys have to kind of lure women. The doll parts in the body in the little plastic bag are how we objectify women. The mom represents age and how we're kind of, you know, attracted to youth. But to me, it's not that I want the audience to pick up on that.
No. But it's, you don't want to spoon feed the audience. But yeah, we all know this stuff.
Right. And at the same time, like I didn't want like random images, because at the same time it could be creepy if he gave her like a bag full of razor blades and candy, right?
No, that's too direct. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense,
Absolutely.
and that wouldn't fit. But yeah, this particular cartoon, the balloon, the simplicity of it, the score, it's all, that's what makes it so brilliant. Okay, let's go to the next one. I think, is there just one left?
Yeah,
2 left. Oh, she's so
she's
cute
awesome
too. Oh my gosh, she's
super
so
awesome.
Okay, we can go to the next one. I don't know what oh yeah, this is awesome to me. This is super interesting.
And this is one of those shots, right, that we couldn't just come up with on
No,
set
no,
if
no.
we didn't have a
You couldn't,
plan, because then Dave wouldn't have, or our DP Dave wouldn't have all the equipment there necessary to do it, and and if it took too long to set up, I'd start getting stressed out that we wouldn't even get the shot. So, I mean, it's kind of an indication of why it's so important to plan.
Very fascinating to me. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the behind the scenes. But first, let's go to the makeup first, just because he was talking about the doll heads and parts, and I think I do have a photo of that. So we're going to talk a little bit about the makeup, so what went into that. Some of these.
Oh yeah.
And you can go through these kind of quickly until okay. So there's some doll parts, and that was around his waist.
Yeah, that was around his waist. It was kind of really cool. We were thinking for character development that so those shiny pieces are actually balloons for balloon animals. And so Melanie and I were just constantly thinking about how we could make this a more interesting character.
But this stuff is made from scratch. See, and these are Dave's
and that's
teeth.
Brittany. Yeah, that's working on teeth. Yeah, she made those teeth from scratch. We had worked on with
Talk
some
about creativity.
art.
I mean, there's so much creativity that goes into this little short film that's just brilliant. Look at that.
Yeah, it was really cool. And one of the challenges, kind of after we wrote it, was I was worried that it would be really difficult.
See, Dave is a cute guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
See, he's cute. He's handsome. He's a superhero. He's an art model. He's very attractive. But then he gets creepy.
Yeah. And one of our challenges was how to create like a clown character that didn't look like Ronald McDonald.
Exactly.
Or people's kind of like impressions of like, and you can't get away from comparisons with Pennywise from It when it comes to clowns. So we wanted to do something different.
But you know what? Dave was the right choice. He has such an interesting way and look about him, because he is a very good-looking man, and then he looks like that.
Yeah,
his features are amazing.
Yeah, one of my kind of, one of the big things I wanted to make sure that we stuck with on the makeup was to use as very little prosthetics as possible, because Dave kind of speaks with his body, not his voice, right?
Yeah, look at that.
And so,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it was important that whatever we did for him was like down to the metal, so to speak.
Well, plus
so
he can move that body creepily like he does, and
yeah. And Melanie's brilliant, man. The way she kind of designed the makeup, the more that he moved, the more that like his outer layer kind of cracked and showed more of that surface.
It looks like. The makeup looks like she built it around him, which is so cool. It's not like she had this idea and then just stuck it on him.
Right.
You can kind of see her process, or both. I'm sure you had a lot to do with it too. The process of making it look like that, and then of course there's always the surprises, like the cracking. I'm sure that's
that was kind of fun. I mean, and for us too. I mean, it was this thing where we actually had an extra shoot day that we didn't shoot anything at all, and actually we took another a stand-in actor, and we took the whole day and applied the makeup just to see if it was something that was going to work. So we did full makeup tests and all that stuff.
Okay, we're gonna have to take a break because we're running out of time. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Stay with us. Are you ready to rock and roll? Are you ready?
I saw Alex going like, oh my God. Just do the butch one and now go girly chin up.
If you're dancing and you're a white guy, you just don't ever want to do this.
You're wearing panties. I'd love to see them. Are they pink?
I didn't even know it was that kind of a show.
He didn't know.
I dig the crazy subtlety you're exhibiting right now. You have an erection.
That's the Cialis pill I put in your champagne.
I should do something interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it.
What's a forehead?
Forehead? Do you say forehead?
Forehead?
Excuse the Australian accent.
Okay, do we need more champagne?
I do, but you'll have to drink it out of my urine.
I think they're the worst guests I've ever had on.
You know when you're dating a guy, Poe, and you sense that Something's amiss. Nothing's wrong. It's a song about this, yeah, back in He say something, but he said nothing.
What is this?
That's a
Is
rogue eyebrow.
that like an eyebrow or a
That's a
caterpillar?
rogue
Or
eyebrow.
That
Thank you, Poe.
ready to lie. Okay, welcome back to the Hollywood Poe Show. So on October 1st from 7 to 10 p.m., The Art of John Polidora, Justin Goby Fields, and Gurmak Basin at the Photonic Playground, 200 North Bush Street, Santa Ana, California. Meet and greet Overwatch character designer from Blizzard Entertainment, John Polidora. Do you know any of these people?
Not that guy in particular,
Okay.
but I know some guys at Blizzard, yeah.
Owner of Iron, there's a lot of guys at Blizzard.
Yeah.
Owner of Ironclad Studios, concept designer Justin Goby Fields, and previously of Cloud Imperium Star Citizen Studio 3D concept artist Gurmak Basin. This is a free event open to all ages. Light refreshments will be served with wine provided by the Wine Lab in Costa Mesa. Framed and flat printed limited edition artwork will be available for purchase. This exhibition will be on display through December 2016. For more info, visit photonicplayground.com. So check that out if you want to. This is cool. You're going to like this. Friday, October 7th from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Film Noir at Union Station, 800 North Alameda Street, Los Angeles. The first in a series in collaboration with the Film Noir Foundation, Union Station, 1950 Paramount, 80 minutes, director Rudolph Mate. This taut thriller features plenty of memorable set-piece scenes filmed inside Los Angeles' historic Union Station, which I love. Isn't Union Station amazing? So beautiful.
Yep.
And other LA locations that double for the film's Chicago setting, interestingly enough. William Holden and Barry Fitzgerald star as the dogged cops who must flush out the psychopathic kidnapper Lyle Betker of a young blind girl without causing a rush hour panic, also starring Nancy Olson and Jan Sterling. All films in the series feature scenes shot at Union Station. Writer, historian, film programmer, and film noir expert Alan K. Rode will introduce the film. Doors open at 7:30, Union Station Historic Ticketing Hall. Free admission. Seating is first come, first serve. The mission of Film Noir Foundation is to rescue and restore America's noir heritage. For more info, visit filmnoirfoundation.org. Hats off to you guys. That's awesome. We gotta save them. We gotta keep them. Otherwise, they'll go away forever. All right, and that's some amazing history at Union Station. I love that place.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the greatest feel to it. It's just like, you feel like you go back in time when you go there.
Yeah,
It's
timeless
kept
for sure.
that.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, where were we? Strange Dave. I still want to stay on this because I love this short. It is just.
Thank you.
I do. Okay, so it was in over 53 film festivals. Right?
We're over
I'm sure.
60 now.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
it's
sure
been
this is
crazy.
all-
It's been really crazy.
I love it. Well, it's obvious why.
It's really crazy. We're going to be in Telluride in October. We're going to be
It's ongoing,
in the
huh?
UK in October. We're going to be in
Yay.
a bunch of places in October, and it's going to culminate with it's going to be on television actually at the end of October. I don't think I can announce it until the 25th, but a press release is coming out on the
Okay.
25th.
We'll
and
put it on
it's gonna be
social media
TV.
and I'll share it because everybody wants to see it. I so wanted to play it, but I didn't. Just the trailer. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the reviews that this got. We Are Indie Horror says, this is about Strange Dave, stand-up performance as Strange Dave. From the moment one small body part is shown on screen, something eerie becomes present. Chilling and believable performance would make any viewer afraid to meet Strange Dave in person. Though he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's very cool. He's not as creepy as he seems. Hi, Dave. And he's been on the Post Show. You guys know that. The monster gets screen time, and he sure as hell deserves it. The film allows the audience to have a one-on-one and very personal encounter with the monster, allowing for some of the scariest and most intense moments in a short film. That's something, too, that Dave does, is he's in this film, he creates this rapport with you, like him. You want to like him, though you know you shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we wanted to kind of subvert, I wanted to see if it was even possible, and we weren't sure until it was done, was that, you know, a lot of people are saying that if you have a monster, a lot of filmmakers say, if you have a monster, you don't want to show it, you want to show it in the dark, you want to show it as little as possible, because there's something more powerful about a viewer's imagination. And I think for the most part that's true, but then the one thing that I wanted to see was that, you know what if she turns on the light? And you know what? Screw it. What if she turns on the light and it's the worst light possible? So it's this like super bright, you know, halogen light, and then what happens? Because I feel like from there, that's at that point, all bets are off. You don't know what the hell's happening. And I think part of what the audience kind of feels as to whether or not they don't, you know, are they supposed to like this guy or whatever, is because at the point when she turns on the lights and she walks over there, all bets are off. You know, because we have no idea what's happening. And I think that's part of the power of that and Dave's performance.
No, I agree. And I think the time that he has, he uses it. Like he builds this. He's building this rapport with you.
Right.
So that's where the monster, I think in this case, is really relevant to, I mean, as much as you see him, I think it's important.
Yeah, and it's part of also the intention of the allegory about, you know, the whole interaction between men and women. And,
exactly,
you know.
And he's building rapport with her, actually, but we're getting it, too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay, you also got some kudos for the editing job, creating tension out of the simplest objects, such as a balloon.
That's pretty cool.
Is a talent that should not go unnoticed. Each and every shot can be made a painting.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's a huge compliment. I think that's amazing.
That's crazy.
And I agree. There are some shots that have subtle elements hidden, creating some of the most beautiful work. They go on to say, okay, these are a couple things that I highlighted. A piece of amazing horror art that will end as a timeless classic and will outshine any modern horror feature-length film.
That's crazy. That's kind of hyperbole. I don't know.
You know what? When it's good, it doesn't matter how long it is.
Yeah.
It's short or long or what. Because, you know, some full lengths they lose it.
Yeah.
They should be shorts.
Yeah.
The incredible performance, camera work, direction, and music create a near perfect short film worthy of all and any awards. I I believe in all of this. I love that review. And there was one other thing they said. Where was it? About the art. I guess the art thing. It is like there's so much art, so much still art, like painting. It is.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the level of preparation going into it, in that, like, you know, the whole team, we all kind of knew what we were there to do, and we all kind of had this sandbox that we were playing in, and we didn't kind of go in there not knowing what we were going to shoot, you know.
Well, there was the vision behind it. You can totally see it. You weren't winging it by any means.
No.
Though you were, in a sense, because you didn't have the prep time you usually have because of the constraints of the makeup and the little girl.
Yeah. Well, we definitely, you know, it was a challenge, and up until the very end, I still had no idea if it was going to work, you know, because it's this, like, again,
it all worked.
Thank you. But I mean, it's all of these elements kind of hoping to come together. But yeah, they came together super beautifully, and everyone kind of, like, you know, threw their A game into it, and I was super proud of the end of it. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We don't need to show the poster or the cover, but let's go to the trailer of Carolina Parakeet. This was actually your first film, short film that you did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check that out real quick. frightening.
That was a lot in there.
And Strange Days in there too.
Yeah,
the
Strange
one
Days
with
is
the
there
with
too,
the
yeah.
weird shoulder thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so creepy. Blah. Okay, so that's a 15-minute short, right? 15 and a half.
That was almost a long, right?
And okay, so that took you 2.5 years because you were also working a full-time job.
Yeah, same with the Smiling Man. It was one of those things where I moved to LA in 2007, and I always thought that while I would try to find work, I'm always going to see if I could make it as a writer director out
Oh
here.
God, you could.
And
that's what actually some of these people say that like you need to do the full thing.
That'd be awesome if I got the opportunity. But at the same time, you get stuck, you end up working, and for me this was even my day job. My day job is a dream job. I can't complain.
No, I know you do
at all.
You do the gaming thing too.
Yeah, and for me, it's a dream job not only because of the kind of of work I get to do, but like because I want to be a writer director. I get to interact with and learn from all these great guys, from like James Cameron.
Yeah,
all these
and
big dudes.
this guy worked on Star Wars. Oh my gosh! So
Right.
You say as a VFX artist, I never even had it as a dream to work on a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I can pretty much hang my visual effects hat now and right off into the sunset.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was
But
one
I'm
of
not
those
going
things.
to, is what he says.
It's one of those things where, by the time I had even begun to be a VFX artist, like the prequels were already done.
Exactly,
So there was,
exactly.
There was
Yeah,
never
yeah.
even the thought that would come back. So when that kind of fell on my lap, it was like pretty crazy.
But also with that, what was interesting is there wasn't a script yet when you began that process, right? So you guys were
For Star Wars?
Yes, you were
for-
making a lot of stuff.
I came in, so the interesting thing for The Force Awakens is I came in actually near the end. It says it's a part called post-viz.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the shooting had already been done, and it was just taking these plates, these live action plates, and throwing everything behind it. So you have all these shots of these actors in just green screen or whatever, and just trying to make whatever that is kind of work. And then of course they also had these holes in the edit. So you have all these guys running around doing stuff, and then you just have a black card that says, I don't know, the Millennium Falcon flies by and does whatever. And so basically our job was to fill in those holes just to make sure that the film is working.
Is there anything more creative than that? There can't be. I mean, talk about creativity at its height. I mean, to
That's pretty
fill
crazy.
in, you have to like fill in all the stuff.
Yeah. It's
Like
pretty crazy.
you made the movie. No, I know there's a lot that goes into that, but that's a big part. To fill
That was
in all
pretty huge.
those.
It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat to be a part of that, because I mean that's something that's really huge,
Slightly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's we're running out of time like super fast, right? Okay, let's go a little bit into the gaming part of it. I know I have some of this pre-visualization and final for some of these video games. Let's go ahead and run those videos so we can take a look at that.
Many are the grim tales told of the Shadow Isles and the black mist that shrouds them. And while all good folk shun this cursed land, sometimes its darkness comes for you. The black mist ebbs and flows like the tide. Yet now and then, on a night much like tonight, it reaches far across the sea, searching, seeking, killing. This time is known as the Harrowing. During the Harrowing, the spirits of the Shadow Isles go forth within the black mist. Preying on the living, feeding the darkness. back once you're claimed by the harrowing. You're cursed, condemned to haunt the Black Mist forevermore. Well, what were you expecting? There ain't no happy endings when the harrowing comes for you. Right on cue. Prepare yourselves, friends. The harrowing is here.
Okay, so with gaming, with
Right.
with doing this type of, it just seems so close to what they end up with in the end.
Yeah. So what that was is it's a commercial spot for the League of
for sure.
Legends of
Exactly,
Heroin.
exactly.
And so what we basically do is when we come in, I've got like a super small team, and
Is it 6 people or something?
for this one, I think so, something like
Yeah.
that. And so what it is there's an agency, right? There's the ad agency, there's the gaming company, which is like Riot Games at this point, and there's the effects house, which is A52, which is doing the finals work. And so we basically worked with them. They had their storyboards at that point. They have their director.
So it's already pretty. It's already pretty close. It's just.
Well,
Or is
it's
it?
basic. It's all on paper at that point, and our job is basically to see if any of that stuff works, and to
Wow.
rapidly prototype what's going to happen in the final. So in comparison, for example, the shots that you see that we did, for one artist, we'll do like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 shots a day, right? Because we need to rapidly try to see if that story makes any sense. But for a final version of that, it would take like weeks for one shot. And so what we do is try to just do a quick sketch of what that commercial would look like and feel like, and what the timing would be like.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, so that was that like your sketch, like your
That's our
And the
version
reel.
of it.
Well, that's-
and what's on the bottom right is what the final
exactly.
looks
So
like.
that's what I'm saying. It's so close.
Yeah,
what
it
you
gets-
came up with quickly and what they ended up with is like, to me, it looks
pretty close.
That's impressive.
Pretty close. But I mean, the amount of work that it takes to get it from our stage
No, for sure.
to the end is like tremendous. And that's
Oh,
kind of
I'm sure.
where the importance of the previs comes there, right? Because the one thing that you don't want to do when you're working on a final shot is to work on it for a week or 2 or 5 and then
Yeah.
go, oh, you know what, that doesn't really work. Let's start over again. And so
yeah.
that's where previs is perfect, because then we can do, you know, for a team of 6 people, we can do like 30, 40 shots a day.
So it typically you keep going.
Yeah, we go fast.
It's a fast.
We go fast.
creative
We try.
process.
We try different ideas, and this is the point where a director can come in and go, "Oh, you know, what if this happens? I have like 4 or 5 different ideas for this shot. What do you think?" And I was like, "All right, well, we'll do all of them. You know, we'll do all of them. We'll explore all those ideas." And so basically, you come out with the director that can make the best decision. And as interesting as it is to have a comparison like that, where the previs work looks super close to the finals work, it's also just as good to see where it's completely different, because kind of like what you don't see there are the 40 other different
No, for
directions
sure.
we went through.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
the
yeah.
value that comes to a director, because then he can see every permutation of something and then go, okay, this is the right decision because I tried hundreds of other decisions.
Okay, at some point in history, because this used to be storyboarding.
Right.
So at some time in history, the director started working directly with you guys.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is there is a storyboarding process for a lot of this before us. So
okay,
so
I see.
there are certain
So there still
times-
is that, but-
There still is that, and it really depends, right? Because sometimes I'll come into a project and there already are storyboards, and so we'll take it from
I
storyboards
see.
and then we'll go beyond that. And then sometimes it's just like the script, and then sometimes it's just us, a conversation, with the director. So it really kind of
But there
varies.
never used to be that. The conversation with the director didn't used to happen. I mean, I'm not just, of course, gaming wasn't around back in the day, but even in film and whatever, that you didn't really have. There was the in between. It was kind of the in between, but now it's just like. I think that it's just due to technology, right? It's so
Yeah.
tight now. You gotta.
Yeah,
go
it's
with it.
nice now, I think, for directors, because then they end up with this piece that really communicates to all of the department heads, right? So the guys that do the lighting, guys that do the sets, and guys that do everything else. They know exactly what they're aiming for because they have a visual guide as to what the end product could potentially look like.
Okay, we're not only out of time, we're beyond time. This is so interesting. I can't even stand it. This is so awesome. Okay, so where can we find you, your work, social media, AJ Briones?
I don't do Twitter. It's a distraction. I'm at www.ajbriones.com, which I rarely update. There's also thesmilingmanmovie.com, and then you can find The Smiling Man on Facebook at / The Smiling Man Movie. And also, if you want to see the whole short, it's on YouTube if you look for it, and it's also on Crypt TV, on Facebook at Crypt TV.
And all of that, anybody who's been on the show, going to be on the show, www.whatpuzzlepiece.com, and you'll see this show again if you want to watch it again. Or if you didn't see it the first time, then you can see it tonight, www.whatpuzzlepiece.com. We're going to leave you with his AJ's reel, hopefully.
Maybe just
a couple minutes, but yeah, it is from 2011, I believe, but you'll get an idea of some of the stuff he's worked on. I'll see you next week. Cheers.
So.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.